Let's go to Anthony in Florida. Anthony, thanks for joining us today.
Good morning.
Good morning, Anthony.
John, a house divided against itself cannot stand. Do you remember the mugshots? Remember back in the day? Remember the mugshots? Rudy Giuliani, America's mayor. Do you remember how they mugshotted Donald Trump? Do you remember how the news media, how they didn't think it was a bad thing? They didn't have a problem with it.
Yes.
It's time for some mugshots.
Yeah.
Mayor Fry, the governor. Let's get some mugshots.
Yep.
If the minute a governor is calling out his National Guard, which they're still a part of their military, the minute you pit the National Guard against government, a house divided against itself cannot stand. Somebody has to be arrested. There has to be some accountability. If you can do it with Venezuela, you can do it here. You can do it legally, constitutionally. He's not doing anything illegal. It's plain and simple. You are the president of the United States. You get control of this right now. I can't say, okay, let's get it on. Okay, well, guess what? The left doesn't seem to have the same issues that you have. They don't. They want to fight. They don't care. They're literally talking about fighting the Second Amendment. Now they love the Second Amendment. Now the Second Amendment is going to be good against Border Patrol. They don't got no problem. Civil War. Let's go. When I said things like this back in the day and currently, boop, get them off. Okay, now it's here. Now it is here. So you're not gonna. You guys cheat and one Republican keep playing by Queensberry rules. This nation was not formed by you guys. It was formed by guys like me that, we did the fighting and the dying and the freezing. This nation was formed because the British wanted to take something from us. And we said no. So I don't know. Dave Bratt, who I like, nice guy, but he's a voice guy. But even Dave Bratt is saying, come on, we need some arrests. We need some accountability. You better do something about these guys because, debank them, find their money. Come on, Pam Bondi, Cash Patel, do something. So there's time, not just Pam Bondi. We need to get rid of some of these guys.
Let's go to cut 8. Keep Anthony on. Here's Ilhan Omar saying that it's important for Americans to record what is going on so that we have a level of accountability and so that we can start, I guess, arresting ICE agents and Kristi Noem and impeaching people and getting rid of Lewandowski and getting rid of ICE and doing whatever else that communist says we ought to do. 8, roll it.
Thank you. The Trump administration is actively telling the public that journalists are misleading them. You heard what was just reported from the scene. What we know is that Renee Macklin-Good and her partner were protesters. They were driving around Minneapolis. They were recording what some of these ICE enforcement officers were doing. And the local police chief says Macklin-Good blocked the street with her car. President Trump has said that the partner was a paid agitator. That's the phrase he used. Secretary Noem alleged this was an act of terrorism. Given how much heat there is and the administration's scrutiny, would you tell Americans it's too dangerous to demonstrate and to go out and document as she was doing?
I think it is really important for Americans to record, to create the level of accountability and transparency that we need. What we have seen in Minneapolis is ICE agents oftentimes jumping out of their cars. These are unmarked cars. Oftentimes they're wearing a mask. They're approaching, running towards cars. They're pulling people out of those cars. Oftentimes, these people are citizens. Oftentimes, these people have documentation of their.
False. It's all lies. Nobody pulls anybody out of a car. If you're a law-abiding citizen driving down the road trying to get from point A to point B, nobody's pulling anybody out of a car. Nobody's pulling you over. You get asked to leave a car when you block traffic and you park your car perpendicular so that the ICE can't get by, law enforcement can't get by, disrupting their operation, and you ask them to leave multiple times and they refuse to do it, and then they didn't pull you from your car. They asked you nicely to get out of your car, and you wouldn't do it. And instead, you tried to run them over and maim them and put them in a wheelchair for life. The lies that are coming out of this person, I mean, you talk about, Anthony, you talk about arrests. The hell's the handcuffs on her? Look, there's precedent. This is why I'm fired up today. I'm sick of this, because if we don't get tough here, we are going to lose the country. President Lincoln arrested an Ohio congressman elected in his district because he was a Confederate sympathizer and wanted a peace negotiated and to stop the killing of the northern and southern troops. And he arrested him and jailed him. Charges? Treason. Why? He was just saying what he was saying what he believed in. Lincoln locked him up, took him out of his office in handcuffs, and released him when the war was over. This is documented American history. Now, people don't want to talk about this. Lincoln had enough of this guy. He didn't do anything. He wasn't calling for violence. He just wanted an end to the war in Ohio. And he didn't want to send any more Ohioans to die for what he thought was a ridiculous cause. He thought eventually the South will figure it out. I don't want any more killing. They want their own country, have at it, and they'll eventually collapse anyway because they have no economy. That's what he said. Look it up. Here's Omar, cut 7, saying, well, don't get in front of a car. Don't get in front of the car that's trying to run you over. Roll this. You got to hear this. Roll.
See, from the recordings that we see, is there anything that you believe was being done that should not have been done by Macklin Good? The administration says she was blocking the road. They are claiming this is an act of terrorism.
Yeah, Renee Nicole Good, as you hear her say, she's not mad. She's sitting in her car, peacefully waving cars to get by. This agent, as you see, gets out of his car, automatically starts running towards her, trying to open her door. She feels scared. She tries to turn the wheel away, and then you see the other officer, who can clearly see the car is moving, move towards the front of the car, which, if they are saying that he has 10 years on service and is trained, he should know that you shouldn't be trying to get in front of a moving car. And so it is not acceptable for Kristi Noem.
So let me get this. So it's the agent's fault for being in front of the car. She never mentioned, she put it in reverse and backed up. Somebody could have been behind him and been maimed for life or crippled or dead. The lies, and it's Nora O'Donnell, another libtard freak, doesn't challenge her on it. Oh, thank you, Miss Omar. Oh, thank you, Ilhan. Nice jihad. Oh, by the way, can I offer you, are you comfortable? Can I offer you a cold soft drink or a hot cup of coffee, maybe some hot chocolate with whipped cream? Is that chair comfortable for you? Would you like an ice cream cone? What a fraud. These people are such frauds, it's beyond the pale. All right, Anthony, go ahead.
Do you know that ICE agent has already been doxxed? You know, his face, his family, his wife. He's already been doxxed. So, President Trump better start. I mean, I'm sure he's doing his job, and I got to say all this just to make some of you guys feel better. But if you don't support these guys, you're going to have a hard time finding people who want to do this. Because if the left gets back in, you bet your boots they're going to want accountability. They're making lists. They've got names and faces all the way down to the lowliest agent. They are going to exact revenge. Why are we not doing the same? Who are in these lower positions that are stalling and ignoring
Fear,
and blowing off Trump's
fear,
orders?
fear, wimps, fear, afraid of the optics. I had somebody over for dinner Saturday night. Well, they're afraid of, the optics aren't good. I would give a rat's ass about the optics. I want arrest. I want handcuffs. I want us to fight back. I mean, this interview with this, I think I said, Nora, sorry, Margaret Brennan. What a clown show. What a clown show that is. Like, it was a complete softball, like no hard questions. And then after he said, well, there's no fraud and there's no really fraud that we've uncovered. 87 people have been convicted. Oh, there's no fraud. There's really no fraud here. Nothing to see here. There's no fraud. You know what? You're an imbecile. Okay. Why are you even there? Why do we even tune these libtards in? This is the stuff I got to deal with in my business every day. That interview that Margaret Brennan did is a disgrace to my profession. What are you? What are you, Brennan? Why are you here? If you want to be a libtard interviewer pushing your communist agenda, do a friggin' podcast. Why are you on a national network wasting our freaking time interviewing this jihad gone communist? I mean, what is the purpose of this? Oh, don't go in front of the car. Oh, she was very peaceful, waving cars by. She was handing out cupcakes and cookies. No, she was disrupting the whole operation perpendicular. If I took my car right now out of the garage, let me just ask you this, Anthony. I took it out and there's nothing going on, right? There's no ice. I just took it out on 15th Street and I just decided to park it perpendicular at 8:15 in the morning, 8:30. What the hell do you think would happen? I would be in that car 30 seconds and I'd be handcuffed and let off by the Washington, D.C. police. Like, you're disrupting the entire traffic bend of the city, you moron. Get out of your car. No. Well, then guess what? Handcuffs. And if I tried to run somebody over in the middle of the road, they'd have shot me in the head, as they should. The hell do people expect, Anthony? This thing is just out of control. And we don't have the balls to stand up to it. It's why we're losing.
Well, this is what comes from. Ilhan Omar should be deported back to Somalia, take her cell phone, drop her right back in the middle of Somaliland, and she can find her way back on her own. I have a comment about Pollard, by the way. I heard about, used to hear about this guy all the time, and I was glad when they finally locked him up. I remember the case. I remember how they dealt with it. The question I wanted you to ask him is, did he steal secrets? Was he born in the United States? Why? Did he trade secrets? And if he didn't, why did Israel ask for him to be deported to Israel? Our ally, our friend and ally, was spying on us. What type of friend does that? This was a documented case. And the fact that this guy is getting a voice after all these years, he's trying to repair his damage. And obviously, he misses the United States. If I lived in Israel, I would miss the United States too. So he is exactly where, well, actually, he deserves the fate of a traitor. If that's where he can never set foot in the United States again. And personally, I'm not interested in what this guy has to say. I don't deep state, whatever. Now he's using the term. He's convicted. He was a spy. He turned against his own nation. As far as I'm concerned, he got the bonus plan. So, I like you, John, but I'm not. There's nothing this guy has to say I want to hear.
Then don't tune in. I have a reputation of asking fair questions. He has something to say. He believes that he was framed. That's his opinion. I have no opinion here. I'm simply going to get his side of the story out. And if somebody wants to combat that with their side of the story, fine. What the biggest spy we ever had in America died recently. They did a movie on him, and basically what Pollard told me on the phone is that the KGB had told this U.S. spy Ames, or whatever his name is, basically to frame him and to get the heat off of the KGB, and his KGB handler told him what to say, and he did it to a judge. And so that's his side of the story. The guy, Ames, is dead, so we'll never find the truth out. But a lot of people continue to die in Russia. A lot of our moles, a lot of our spies, agents, assets continue to be killed by the KGB a decade after they put Pollard away. So obviously that never got to the bottom of it. So we'll see what he has to say. And if you don't want to tune in, don't. I don't care. I mean, I'm going to hear what he has to say. Like I hear what the other side has to say all the time. This is what makes me different. Don't tune me in. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. Look, dude, I'm going to be 68 in March. I'm going to do what I want. So the guy, you know what? They put this together. They picked me because I have a reputation of fairness. Everybody knows where I stand. There's no secret. I mean, I was Trump chairman of Virginia 2016 and 2020, and they're chairman of the platform committee in Milwaukee in 24. So everybody knows where I stand, dude. But they also know that I'm going to ask intelligent questions, not like that imbecile on NBC. And we'll hear what he has to say. And I'm not here to do gotcha. So if you're looking at this interview and think I'm going to ask like 19 gotcha questions, I don't do that with anybody. So I would never do that. I want to hear what he has to say. And then we can decide after that. Somebody who wants to come on and rebut it, fine. I have no problem with that. Right? That's why, I said earlier, I'm glad that Trump is going to Davos. You got to go and see what the other people are saying in order to understand it. If you don't understand it, you can't combat it. That's all. So don't tune in. I'm sure you have something better to do, like watch reruns of a Marlins game getting beat 10-2. Thank you, Anthony, for your time. 888-480-JOHN, 888-480-5646. You can also watch a rerun of the Jacksonville Jaguars claiming snatching defeat from victory. You can watch that rerun. You can watch the Fraud Eagles getting beat by half a team at home. You can watch that rerun. Plenty of reruns out there that you can watch. You can watch the Oregon Ducks getting beat 58-7 or whatever the score was. Lots of stuff out there to do rather than tune in to me at 10 a.m. And here's the beauty of this. I don't care.
Maybe
That
I
is
should
the
listen.
beauty of going on 68. I don't care. Isn't that? It's free.
Don't care.
I don't care. Whether you tune me in or not. I don't give a rat's ass. I can retire tomorrow if I feel like it. I don't, because talking to you is too much fun. It's too much fun.
Oh,
Dude, call anytime, Anthony. But don't tune in at 10. Don't do it. Don't call in at 10 because I don't want to make your blood boil, and I don't want you to get knowledge from a former spy as to why he did it. Do not tune me in. You're on the John Fredericks Media Network. It's fun to truck the truth. That's why I'm not going to retire, because of Anthony. When Anthony stops calling, I tell you what, then I'll retire. How's that? Deal? Be right back at you.